Question 17. Solve 7x minus 6 is equal to 5x plus 11. So we want to find out what the x is. We want to isolate the x. We want to have the x on one side. So at the moment I can see that there's more x's on the left hand side, 7x, whereas on the right hand side we only have 5x. So I don't want any x's to be on the right hand side. We do not want any x's on the right hand side. So to do that we have to get rid of this positive 5x. So what we will do is we will take 5x from this side, and if we take 5x away from the right hand side we'll have to take away 5x from the left hand side, otherwise it will not balance. So the positive 5x and the negative 5x cancels out, leaving us with just 11 on the right hand side. On the left hand side, 7x, take away the 5x, is 2x, and this minus 6, we've done nothing to it, so it just copies down. We just copy it down. Now because we want the x on its own, we have to get rid of this minus 6. So how do you go to minus 6? We'll have to add 6 to this side. If we add 6 on this side, we'll have to add 6 on this side. So we have to add 6 to both sides, otherwise it will not balance. So what's 11 add 6? That's 17. The take away 6 and the add 6 cancels out, leaving us with just 2x. So 2x is equal to 17, which we can just write as x is equal to 17 over 2. To write that as a mixed number, how many times does 2 go into 17? Well, 2 times 8 is 16 and 1 left over. So the answer is 8.5. 8.5 or 8.5. So just got to check that answer is right, and you could do that by substituting the values in and making sure that it does equal to 8.5 or 8.5. Question B involves expanding. We've got 3 lots of 4x minus 1 is equal to 27. So how do we expand this? So there's another video or playlist on expanding. So we've got 3 times 4x minus 1, which means 3 lots of 4x minus 1. So I like to do this using the grid method. So we write 4x minus 1 I'll just draw a grid like that. Now if it was double bracket I would need all of that, but because it's not a double bracket I don't need all of that. With the single bracket we can just have it like this, and the 3 from here just comes here. So what's 3 times 4x? It's 12x. And what's 3 times minus 1? It's minus 3. So when you expand that, you'll have 12x minus 3 is equal to 27. Now because we want the x by itself, we will get rid of the minus 3 on the left hand side. To do that we'll add 3 to both sides. So add 3 here, add 3 here. So what's 27 add 3 is 30, and then minus 3 and the plus 3 here cancels out, leaving with just 12x. Now if I want to get the x on its own, I have to divide both sides by 12. So divide here by 12, divide here by 12. So this on the left hand side, the times 12 and the divide 12 cancels out, leaving with just x, And on the right hand side I'll have 30 divided by 12. Now that can be simplified. We can half them both. I don't really like doing equals, but just to illustrate, if we half them, we'll get half 30 is 15 and half 12 is 6. Again, the top and the bottom, the 15 and the 6, can be divided by 3 to give me 5 and 2. We could alternatively just say that 12 divided by 6 is 2 and 30 divided by 6 is 5. We'll go to the same place. So we now have x is equal to 5 over 2, which we can write as x, and go up to 2. Okay, now how many times does 2 go into 5? 2 times remainder 1. So the answer is x is 2.5 or x is 2.5. So if we now go back and substitute the value of x in, we can check if our answer was right. So instead of 3 brackets 4 times x, we're going to write 4 times 2.5, take away 1 is equal to 27. So 3 times, well, we know 4 times 2.5 is 10, take away 1 should be equal to 27. So 3 times, what's 10 take away 1 is 9, is equal to 27, and that's true. So therefore our answer that x is equal to 2.5 is correct. Question 18. Solve 4x plus 6 is equal to 20. So we want the x on its own. So to do that, we have to get rid of the plus 6. So to do that, we have to take away 6 on this side, take away 6 on this side. So what's 20 take away 6 on the right hand side? It is 14. And the plus 6 and the minus 6 cancels out, leaving me with just 4x. So 4x is equal to 14. And because we want the x on its own, we have to get rid of the times 4. So we have to divide by 4 on both sides to keep it balanced. So on the right hand side, the times 4 and divide 4 cancels out, leaving with just x. On the right hand side, I will have 14 from there and then divided by 4. Now obviously I can half them both, and I can write that as x is equal to 7 over 2. So if you write that as a mixed number, x, copy the 2 down. How many times does 2 go into 7? 3 times. And then 1 remainder. So the answer is 3.5. And we can check if that's right by doing substitution. So 4 times 3.5 or 3.5 plus 6 is equal to 20. So it's up to you which method you want to do. You can use the multiplying method of a fraction, or you can just multiply the decimal. So here we know that when you times by 4, we've got double and then double the number again. So 3.5 double is 7 and 7 double is 14. So 4 times 3.5 is 14. Well, the other way to look at it is 4 times 3 is 12, and then 4 times 0.5 is another 2. So 12 add 2 is 14. So plus 6 is indeed equal to 20. So we know that the answer is 3.5, and we are correct. Question B. 5 multiplied by 2. Look, 5 multiplied by what's inside the bracket, which is 2x minus 10, is equal to 30. So we want the x on its own. So this time we could easily just divide both sides by 5. So if I divide this side by 5, and I do 30 divided by 5 here as well. So what's 30 divided by 5? It equals a bit down. Okay, equals to 6. And on this side, the times 5 divided by 5 cancels out. So we have 2x minus 10 is equal to 6. And because we want the x on its own, we have to go with the minus 10. So if we add 10 to both sides, 2x is equal to 16. And if we half them now, divide them both sides by 2, we'll get x is equal to 8. Why do we divide by 2? Because we want to get rid of this times 6, so to do the opposite. So to do the opposite, if you divide by 2, so the final answer is x equal to 8. Now let's check this if it is right. Remember the question started off by saying 5 open brackets 2x minus 10 is equal to 30. So what we're saying is whatever is inside this bracket times by 5 and it should equal to 30. So 5 within x is 8, so 2 times 8 is 16. Take away 10, should equal to 30. Now what's 16 take away 10? 16 take away 10 is 6. So this bit here is 6. So remember this is 5 times, so 5 times 6 is indeed 30, so we're correct. X is equal to 8.